You are about to become a witness.
Well, right now I'm to the point that I think the only way to solve it is an accident.
Okay, do you want her just hurt in the accident?
Dead.
Captured on camera. Some of the dumbest, most bumbling attempts to hire hitmen.
She's got blonde, short, curly hair, glasses. She's got a very small mouth.
Okay.
Until she talks.
Well, so how much you got here?
There's only 30 there.
30, okay, you got 30?
I had about that.
Okay.
This guy's just way out there. You know, oh yeah, I'm going to kill a whole family for 30 bucks, 50 bucks, you know. That's when I just wanted to slap him and say, you're just an idiot.
You're about to learn the easiest ways to get busted when trying to hire an assassin. Number 1, do it from jail.
I don't want him to testify, whatever it takes.
Number 2, solicit a cop to do your dirty work.
I explained to her we couldn't guarantee his death doing that and that I would need to shoot him. And she said, go for it.
Number 3, ask for proof.
You want me to take a Polaroid photo afterwards or what? Yeah, if you could. You could do that, take a Polaroid.
Some of the most unbelievable murder-for-hire solicitations captured on camera. You are about to witness what could easily be auditions for the amateur hour in the murder-for-hire business. People who defy all common sense to find someone to do a job they can't bring themselves to do. What has been captured on camera may seem foolish, but there's no doubt these attempts to hire hitmen are real, and the officers investigating each case take them very seriously.
What would you like me to do for you? Get rid of her. Okay. Let's get rid of her. How do you want it done? An accident.
Convenience store clerk Gary Douglas Lee's intentions are crystal clear. He wants his ex-wife killed. And at a meeting at a local diner in North Richland Hills, Texas, which is being secretly videotaped by the police from an adjoining parking lot, Lee unknowingly hires undercover Sergeant Tony Veltre to do just that.
I was briefed that Gary Lee had lost a judgment in family court of some nature, that he would have to pay money to his ex-wife. He was going through a custody battle with his kids, and he didn't want to pay this money. He didn't want to go through this.
That was my ex-wife. She got married to another guy, and he beats her with a ping pong paddle. My kids, he brought in a 14 and an 11-year-old to the marriage. The 14-year-old boy keeps pulling a knife on my kids that are 8 and 9.
So the first meeting was basically very simple. You have the informant hook up a meeting with Lee and me.
I don't know how much money you got, but like I said, I owe Don the favor, but I can't do it for free. There's no way. Okay?
Don said 50 bucks.
Wait, did Lee just offer up a grand total of $50 for the contract murder of his ex-wife?
Don said 50 bucks.
I'm kind of, 50 bucks is kind of cheap, you know. I mean, I'll break her leg for $50, but I ain't gonna do that for $50. Okay, can you come up with $500?
I just got back to work 2 weeks ago.
Is there any way you can get $500?
I doubt it.
$200. Come on, help me out here. What can you give me right now?
Oh, right this minute?
Right this minute.
Hell, I only have $1 to change it.
I'm thinking to myself, now this is where the case goes downhill right here, the amount of money. And how am I going to deal with this? I don't know what he was thinking, $50 or whatever, but I was just shaking my head.
But Lee is obviously unfazed and unashamed about his low bid offer. And he even comes up with what he thinks will be a solid alibi, being recorded by a security camera at the local convenience store where he will be working the night of the hit.
Well, now, if it happens Friday night or Sunday night, then I'll be on camera at the store.
Oh, cool.
10 o'clock, 7-Eleven has 2 cameras.
Okay.
I'll be on camera after 10.
Nothing come back on me, you know. Nothing to traumatize the kids and all that. Very concerned for his kids, and I was just thinking, well, you're an idiot, you know. I mean, what you're having me do is enough.
Lee's careful attention to his alibi convinces Veltre and his team that he is serious. But they still need him to make a payment and hopefully provide a picture of his target in order to show intent.
I need some down money, okay? I need some down money. And if you can work on the photograph, great. It'd be a lot better for me.
I I need to get out of there. I want to get out there. I want to go take a shower. That's all I want to do. When I left, that guy was just incredibly lame.
Lame may be an understatement when it comes to ordinary folks trying to hire hitmen. We asked Rick Griffith, a former undercover agent for the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, if he ever wanted to shake some sense into these people before they go and ruin their lives.
Yeah, you'd like to reach out and touch them, but, unfortunately we can't do that. You think, my God, where did these people come from? I wonder that every day. Where do these people come from? I mean, they just come out of the woodwork somewhere. They crawl out. It's unbelievable.
These are the same people that you see in the grocery store tonight that you perhaps go to church with or sit by in a movie. The only difference is life has dealt them a hand that they can't handle.
Gary Johnson is a senior investigator with the Harris County District Attorney's Office in Houston, Texas. Because he specializes in undercover work, he requested that we shoot his interview in partial shadow.
They've gone through all their reserves, and nothing has worked. And then this seems like a way to handle it. And as they become more frustrated, it gets to be a better and better idea.
Although their motives may be different, the amateurs who try to hire hitmen usually make the same mistake.
Most people do not know people that can go out and find people to hire someone to kill somebody. So they'll start asking around, asking friends. These people feel that, this isn't worth my life because this person's having a bad time. So normally those persons will come to the police.
As someone did in the case of Gary Douglas Lee. So instead of talking to a hitman about killing his ex-wife, Lee undercover Sergeant Tony Veltre. Here in a diner parking lot, 3 days after their first get-together, they go through the details of the hit. Veltre's surveillance team videotapes their meeting from the inside of a van.
She's 5'8", about 200 pounds. She's got blonde, short, curly hair, glasses. She's got a very small mouth.
Okay.
Until she talks. No, it sounds like a joke, but I'm serious. Her lips are about that wide.
Although Lee first suggests making the hit look like an accident, Veltre, in character, tries to convince him that scenario is a bit of a gamble.
The accident, there's a lot of things you got to do to a car to make it have an accident, and I don't think that I'd really want to risk hurting anybody else.
Okay.
Have you got any other way you want it done?
Lee's next suggestion shocks even the sergeant, who has heard almost everything.
A robbery?
I can do that.
I don't know if you'd want to rape her or anything like that.
That took me off guard. That was like, joking around with them about, assaulting her first and then killing her, then assaulting her. Do you mind if I do that? Or that never crossed my mind. What crossed my mind was just knocking the crap out of him right there in the street. You got to be kidding me.
But Lee is serious, dead serious. He even suggests that Veltre might want to knock off his ex-wife's husband and children as part of the package.
He should be at home with her and then his 2 kids.
Consider them too.
I don't give a about them.
You don't?
No.
Then Lee seals his fate. He gives Veltre a down payment for the hit, but it is not $200 or even $50.
All right, let's see how much you got here.
There's only 30 there.
30. Okay, you got 30.
And I had to borrow that.
Okay.
This guy's just way out there. I'm going to kill a whole family for $30, $50. That's when I just wanted to slap him and say, you're just an idiot.
With the payment, a map to his ex-wife's house, and a picture of her, Veltre has everything he needs.
And I don't see any problem. Okay, I consider it a done deal.
Cool.
I think it'll go easy. I don't think we're going to have any problems with it.
Cool.
And you're going to be on tape?
After 10 o'clock.
After 10 o'clock? Well, we'll do it after. Make sure it's after 10 o'clock.
Okay, great.
Okay?
Excellent.
All right, man.
Thanks, Tony.
Be careful.
I appreciate it.
It was the last 2 minutes of the conversation was I just, please let me just arrest. Can I just turn around, face scan? Can I arrest him now? That's what I wanted to say. Let me do it.
Veltre practically gets his wish. As he leaves the scene, officers arrest Lee on the spot.
It's a capital offense, hiring someone to have someone killed. I still have a picture of him on my desk, you know, with the, I'll always have, just thinking, going, man, if you think you're having a bad day, look at his picture, one of those things.
When we come back, two of the most unique and bizarre real-life murder-for-hire stories.
We made the final arrangements in jail while she was incarcerated.
I don't want him to testify, whatever it takes.
He ain't living. You living anymore?
Well, I don't want him to live anymore.
Well, he ain't living anymore once you're done this.
She had a plan. Her plan was to run him off the road on his way to or from work.
A bartender looking to cash in on her older husband's life insurance. An accused drug dealer looking to settle a score with an informant. No, they're not the female villains in your favorite daytime soap opera, but these women are the stars of two of the most unique and bizarre real-life murder-for-hire stories.
Women are more cold-blooded than men. Women have a very, deep down inside, they have a very calculating and very violent streak.
Former Colorado Bureau of Investigation undercover agent Rick Griffith may have been influenced in this opinion by one of his strangest cases, that of drug dealer Donna Sills.
I was kind of dumbfounded. I thought this was a joke. I first thought somebody's playing a joke on me. I thought this was ridiculous. I'd never seen anything like this.
But this case is no joke, considering that Sills tried to hire a hitman from, of all places.
She was in jail for dealing narcotics. That informant told me that Donna was looking for someone to kill an informant that had turned her in for narcotics dealing, hence the reason she was in jail waiting trial.
It all started when she began asking fellow inmates if they knew anyone who could help her out of her situation.
It was another person that was in jail, and we got the information to the informant and then arranged to make contact with Donna over the telephone in the jail.
Not only does she try to hire the hitman from jail, she has the nerve to bring him there to personally interview him for the job. Griffith played the role of a biker living in Denver and in Mexico. He and Sills corresponded over the telephone and through the mail before they met in person.
Visited her in jail, asked her supposedly brother, and we made the final arrangements in jail while she was incarcerated.
Well, just so he won't testify.
Well,
you know, because I'm looking at 18 years in prison.
Well,
That's bullshit.
well, you know, when you say don't testify, tell me what you mean, and I'll do it. You can take a gamble and end up doing 18 years, or you can do a sure thing and end up nothing.
See, you could let him out, try to scare him off, right? And then if he don't show for the first one, then they'll throw it out.
Well, if it does,
then the other. I'm serious.
you know.
I'm serious.
Sills signs over a promissory note, incredibly witnessed by a guard who is in on the sting. The note guarantees Griffith payment for the job.
I will sign it, the promissory, and then I don't want to know anything else. Do you understand?
And here we are in a facility that's monitored, recorded, and I was aware she knew that, and could still go through with the conversations that we had.
I don't want him to testify, whatever it takes.
Donna Sills is convicted and sentenced to 16 years in prison for the solicitation as well as the drug charges.
She thought she was actually going to be out and on the streets and going to parties and hanging around with me, and I was going to take her to Mexico and wherever else I was going to go, or whatever other lies I told to her. And I thought she was, you know, on Easy Street now.
Another woman who may have thought she was headed for Easy Street is Darcy Lindenmeyer, a bartender from Rockford, Illinois.
She worked at a local drinking establishment. That's where she met Gilbert Lindenmeyer. They knew each other for a brief time, and they got married.
It's a marriage that Darcy soon thinks is a mistake. And 3 months after tying the knot, she starts looking for a hired gun.
She went to Rick Wheaton, and that was a former boyfriend of her daughter, at which time she asked if he would kill Gilbert for $1,000.
Frightened, Wheaton goes to the police, and that is where undercover agent Wellbank of the Illinois State Police steps in. The sting is set up inside a car at a local shopping center.
Okay, and you don't just want him beat up.
No, I just want him. He ain't living anymore.
He ain't living anymore?
Well, I don't want him to live anymore.
No, he ain't living anymore once we're done with this.
Okay.
But I want you to be sure,
No,
so you understand what you're doing, because, he's going to be dead in a couple hours.
Okay, great. It's fine.
You fine?
Yeah.
Now, little man said $1,000.
You got it. I got 500 now. It won't take me long to pay the 500 up.
She had a plan. Her plan was to run him off the road on his way to or from work. I explained to her when I met with her that we couldn't guarantee his death doing that, and that I would need to shoot him. And she said, go for it.
And it soon becomes clear that when it comes to the financial impact of the hired hit, Darcy Lindenmeyer has done her homework.
My husband works for Chrysler, and he's the chief engineer of the power plant. He brings home $1,000 a week.
Yeah, not anymore.
But I'll get all that. I get his Social Security, which is $2,999 a month. Get his retirement, $350,000 life insurance policy. For stocks and bonds.
Oh, ain't bad.
I got everything I want.
She provided money. We were en route to the ATM to get more money. She provided a picture. She provided the car. There was no misunderstanding as to their purpose in meeting me and what the aftermath would be.
Okay. And we got a deal, all right? All right, but there's no going back.
No, I've had it. It's been going on for 3 months. I'm married to him, and both. I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more.
That's enough for the arresting officers.
Get up. Get up. Hey, get up. Put your hands right in there.
But the strange story of Darcy and Gilbert Lindenmeyer doesn't end here.
Shortly after that, we had a couple agents go and pick up Gilbert. And this is always one of the hard things in these cases, to tell the people that this is what happened.
Gilbert's reaction is anything but the expected one. Maybe love does conquer all.
He was trying to raise enough money to get her out. I met with him several times and explained to him that could be a very serious mistake, that if he would have done that.
Then, 3 months after Darcy pleads guilty,
he died of a heart attack. And if she would have just waited, she would have gotten everything that she had hoped for.
Darcy Lindenmeyer was sentenced to 22 years in prison. When we come back...
What's the chances of removing her, making her disappear?
That can be done. No.
Is that too tough for you?
No, that can be done.
And not show up again?
It was such a shock to actually hear someone say, your husband is trying to hire someone to get rid of you.
Ask undercover officers what makes a murder for hire sting successful, and they will probably agree on one thing.
When you can videotape, it's wonderful. Because a videotape, when you play it in a court, it turns 12 jurors into 12 witnesses. The impact on a jury of hearing and seeing the person, the demeanor, it's just unbelievable.
So, how do undercover officers prepare a location with hidden video cameras and microphones? We asked Larry Brown, a surveillance specialist with the Colorado Bureau of Investigation.
Yeah, this room is very easy. Number one, there's several items in the room. There's a large bed. There's places to sit. We have drawers, if necessary, to hide power supplies and things like that.
Hotel and motel rooms are often used for these type of sting operations as they provide another useful feature.
Another good point is the fact that there's an adjoining room. We always have to keep in mind the safety of the undercover agent. So therefore, if we have an adjoining room, cover agents can easily come through. That's always important to make sure that we have quick access.
Once Agent Brown is comfortable with the location, he gets to work.
I packed a few items. This is a microwave transmitter. The video connects here. There's also a microphone that is with this. This is a 2-watt transmitter, and very small and very concealable, which is extremely important. This part here is the camera, and it's a black and white camera, very good for low light operations, and there's a pinhole lens on the end of it. You don't need much of an opening to get a good shot. So I'll just put it inside that bag. Even though the people will be several feet away, the microphone is very sensitive. Just the fact that it will be here by the chair will be plenty.
It takes Brown approximately 45 minutes to set up a hotel room for a sting. But before he is done, he does a bit of set decorating.
The towels are just primarily now just to make the room just look a little messier. I'll throw this over here. I'll throw more towels on the bed. Another thing that we'll do is want the place to look like it's been used. We mess up the bed. Throw some pillows around and stuff. We don't want the room to look pristine. So just messing up the place a little. I'll then sit, make sure that I can see myself on camera. I know the target completely in view. And the room is now set.
Back.
I understand this is your wife.
What's the chances of removing her, making her disappear?
That can be done. No.
Is that too tough for you?
No, that can be done.
And not show up again?
When it comes to amateur would-be killers, one thing seems apparent. Desperate people do desperate things. Take, for example, the case of the pharmacist who pays a person he believes to be a hitman with a bottle of pills stolen from his job. Or the doctor who asks for a photograph of his dead lover to prove a hired gun had done the job thoroughly. You're about to become an eyewitness to those misguided attempts, as well as the case of a husband who just can't wait for his divorce to be finalized the traditional way. It is February 1997. James Schumann, a local businessman in La Crosse, Wisconsin, is in a motel room meeting with a man he hopes will kill his wife. But what he doesn't know is the hitman auditioning for the job is really Wisconsin Department of Justice undercover agent Eric Sikowski, and that their meeting is being videotaped.
You want me to get started here, or?
Well, what's this going to cost me?
What do you got?
Not much right now.
Well, why don't we talk about it first, and then you see if you like what I can do for you.
Let's do that.
I can talk about a price.
Let's do that.
All right. I understand this is your wife. Okay.
Schumann, the owner of a local seed company and father of 2, is in the midst of a bitter divorce and custody battle with his wife of 18 years, Susan.
It was such a devastatingly, emotionally draining divorce. It was fraught with so much, one crisis after another. He wasn't willing to share anything. Not the children, not any of the marital property. He told a friend of ours that he'd spend $1 million to see that I did not even get one.
Well, maybe not $1 million, but Schumann was certainly willing to pay something to get his wife out of the picture permanently. He set his ill-fated plan in motion when he approached a former employee and asked him if he knew someone who would be able to kill his wife. The employee reports him to the local police department, and Agent Sikowski is brought in. Because he still works undercover, he asked that his interview be shot like this.
So having that background or that knowledge, then I called him up on the phone.
Hello? Hey, is Jim there? Speaking. Yeah, hi, Jim. My name is Eric. Glenn said that you were looking for somebody to do a job for you.
His initial reaction when I talked to him was not one of surprise. He sounded as though he was expecting the call, and it was very businesslike, very professional.
As always, like an actor, Agent Sikowski prepares physically and mentally for the role he is about to play.
Basically, I stopped shaving. I wear clothes that are grungy, dirty. I have a leather coat that I wear, and along with the appearance is the attitude that you bring to that meeting. And I think it's very important that you sell yourself as the best hitman that money can buy. And when you combine that attitude with your appearance, if the person intends to hire you, they're going to hire you.
In the end, Schumann's clumsy attempt to have his wife killed, as in the case of many amateur would-be killers, lands him in a motel room wired with hidden cameras and microphones. Just days before police set up Schumann in a motel room, they place a very difficult call.
Even though, Jim had threatened me, it was such a shock to actually hear someone say, your husband is trying to hire someone to get rid of you. And all I could say was, oh my God, Ron, oh my God. Over and over, that's all I remember saying to him.
After being told that her husband wants her dead, Schumann's wife, Susan, goes into hiding until the sting operation is over.
I didn't know any particulars. I didn't know any details. I didn't know when, where, how. But, yeah, I knew that they had this plan and that, they were going to try and get him on tape and videotape and get the evidence that they needed to take it to court and win.
But obtaining sufficient and legal evidence can be tricky in these types of cases.
Entrapment, very simply, is when a law enforcement officer induces or gets a person to commit a crime they are not already predisposed to commit. I could not tell him that if you don't hire me, I'm going to the police. If you don't hire me, I'm coming after you. So it's really clear that we're just providing an opportunity.
What's the chances of removing her, making her disappear?
That can be done. No.
Is that too tough for you?
No, that can be done.
And not show up again?
Oh, yeah. I drove a couple 100 miles here. There's a lot of places.
The best is if she disappears, so there's no corpse.
Okay. All right. Do you care how it's done? Do you want her to go quick in her sleep? Do you want her to suffer? Make any difference?
Just go on.
Out of here, huh?
Yeah, make it easier on yourself.
One thing you'll find when you work in an undercover capacity and people are a little nervous, they try to dance around the words. They'll use words that appear to mean the same thing. I just want her gone. I want her to disappear. And if you look at that in the context of the meeting and what we're talking about, everybody knows what he wanted done.
When we come back,
one important factor in showing intent is a down payment.
I can't get the money right now. I'll tell you what, I got a bill. There's frosting down there. What's the chances of removing her, making her disappear?
That can be done. No.
Is that too tough for you?
No, that can be done.
And not show up again?
It is February 20th, 1997, and James Schumann, father of two and in the midst of a bitter divorce and custody battle, is in a La Crosse, Wisconsin motel room hiring someone he thinks is a hitman to kill his wife of 18 years, Susan. But Schumann's amateur bumblings have led him instead into the clutches of Wisconsin Department of Justice undercover agent Eric Sikowski.
Getting back to, how to do it. Sometimes, I have done things or make it look like an accident. Does she have stairs in that house? Is it a two-story?
Basement stairs.
I could, maybe snap the neck and then throw her down, and it might look like she fell down the stairs. That's a possibility rather than, just taking the body. I'm assuming that it'd be no secret you'd be the first guy they'd look at.
You got it.
Because Agent Sikowski still works undercover cases, he asked that his interview be shot like this.
As the hitman, I told him about the different ways that I could do it. I'm just being the the best hitman that he could possibly hire. I want to do the job right for him. And we also talked about alibi, which is very important.
Could you plan on maybe like taking a little trip out of town or something?
Yeah, to Rochester.
He had his alibi all set up. He was taking his kids, to Rochester to visit his girlfriend. They were going to be there for the weekend. I mean, I'm sure he thought he was, pretty clever.
Excellent. Agent Sikowski knows that he has enough videotape evidence to show Schumann's interest, but there is still one crucial element missing.
One important factor in showing intent is a down payment. Obviously, a real hitman is not going to do it out of the goodness of his heart or just because he likes his client. So it's important to get a down payment to really prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this is what the person wanted to do.
I can tell you what I've done it for in the past, okay?
Hey, tell me.
I usually go 10 grand ahead, okay?
I wouldn't do it.
Is that all right with you? Mm-hmm. You're not bullshitting me?
Nope. In fact, I tell you what, I can't get the money right now. I'll tell you what, I've got it buried. There's frost in the ground right now.
Yeah, I can get it done, all right, man. But I gotta tell you something now. I'll deal with you. You look like a man of means, okay?
I am.
Okay, looks like you can take care of me. But this is something you gotta want to do, okay? Because when I get this thing rolling, there's no turning back, okay? This is something you want to do. You want this done, okay? Because I'm going to do it for you.
It's the only way I can do it, I think, at this point. I mean, she's ruining everything.
But he asked for the opportunity to think about it. And, of course, we gave it to him.
If I decide to pull out in the next few days, I can beep you and say I can pull out and send you some money or something to cover your expenses.
Well,
I don't think I'm going to, but I mean, I've been living in a shithole for 3 years, Eric.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty f***ing sick of it. I'm losing everything with these f***ing attorneys.
He had ample opportunity to back out, to change his mind, but he's the one that called me a week later on the phone and said he wanted to go through with it.
Speaking of money and stuff, can I get like a down payment?
Well, here's my situation. I cannot get to the stuff that's buried. I gotta wait till this damn frost leaves. There's no way I can get it. But what I could do is I could come up with a couple $1,000 cash now for down payment. Would that work?
Mr. Schumann offered as much as 20% early on, which would have been $2,000 for killing his wife. And he told me at the end that he wasn't able to gather up quite that much, but that he did get $1,500, and he would leave it out in the country for me in Trempealeau County, and he gave me directions to find that, and it was left there.
James Schumann is arrested the following morning.
Pretty much just hard to believe. He was so cold in his presentation. There was no emotion, just so cold. I just want her gone. Just make her disappear. It's just so hard for me to understand how somebody can have such total disregard for someone else, to have such hatred for someone else. I did love him so much. I really did.
Schumann is sentenced to 35 years in prison twice. He is found guilty at his first trial, but 22 months later, a new trial was ordered because the initial judge had not given the jury instructions about an entrapment defense.
So then we went again, and entrapment was used totally against me. And the real interesting thing is that that first jury was out for almost 9 hours. The second jury, when they got the entrapment instruction, was out for less than half that time.
But even though Schumann is now behind bars, Susan will always be looking over her shoulder.
The thing that concerns me the most, of course, is that he'll still try to get the job done. He probably hates me more now than ever. He has not taken responsibility for his actions. He has not taken any ownership for what he did.
When we come back...
Well, right now I'm to the point that I think the only way to solve it is an accident.
Okay, do you want her just hurt in the accident?
Dead.
Okay.
I knew he was a doctor. I knew that he was local, and he had a general practice in a small town nearby in the city of Clayton.
Undercover Detective Scott Harn has an appointment with Dr. Gary Parkinson, but it isn't for a checkup.
Basically, too, he needs to go away. He's trying to destroy my life.
Detective Harn of the Concord, California Police Department is posing as a hitman after his department learns from an acquaintance of Parkinson that he is looking for a hired gun.
Basically, what do you want to know? You want to know why?
Yeah, I'd like to.
Okay, well, this guy's been screwing me really, really bad, and he's trying to get me arrested for a bunch of shit I didn't do. And he's got a lot of money out of me.
What's this guy's relationship to you?
He's an ex-lover.
I could see his hand shaking, his voice was trembling a little bit when he was trying to light his cigarette. Had problems. I thought he was going to burn up the interior of my car. It definitely put me at ease to see how nervous he was, and I felt more in control of the situation.
Detective Harn is in control of the situation as Parkinson makes all the right, or should we say wrong, moves.
Well, basically, I need to make sure it doesn't come off onto me.
Parkinson has a plan.
Well, and this is something, because this happens in the gay world, this is hate crime type deal.
No, explain it to me.
But, basically, the real, if it was real, what would happen is I'd go out and I'd pick some guy up and we'd go off to some cheap hotel and he'd murder me, and take my wallet or whatever and go. Or take my money and go. And make it look like sex.
When he gave me the potential victim's name, address, phone number, his habits, a photo of him, and half the money up front. I mean, it was very obvious he was willing to cross the line between fantasy and reality.
I tell you what, I'd rather we didn't meet again. Can we do a drop somehow, or the rest of the money, or what? I've got half with me. I brought half with me.
Yeah, we could do that.
But before he makes a final payment, Parkinson will want proof of his ex-lover's death.
What do you want as proof? You want me to take a Polaroid photo afterwards, or what?
Yeah, if you could. If you could do that, take a Polaroid.
After the meeting, the potential victim is spirited away to a safe location.
So it actually made it fairly easy for us to go there with a Polaroid camera, have him lay on a bed with a belt around his neck, appearing to have been strangled.
In fact, those who try to hire a hitman often ask for a picture of the corpse as a form of proof that their target is dead. And the police departments have learned how to accommodate them. Amy Zeeland and Peyton Hobbs are sergeants in the United States Air Force. They specialize in creating fake wounds for the Air Force's disaster training unit and are often called in when the Colorado Bureau of Investigation needs to fake a death.
Well, the first thing we would do is to find out what the end result is, find out what kind of scenario they're trying to create.
Using special makeup, the officers get to work on our volunteer.
We want to create a hole, that kind of illusion that there's a hole there. And this stuff you can just peel, it's like putty. So we'd start by blending the wax, wherever we wanted to do this. There's two different kinds of blood that we have. This is a gel form, you can see it, it won't come out. And this is stuff where if you're going to be filming for a long time or you want to have a very specific part of the wound that needs to stay in place, you can use this and you can stretch it and shape it, make it look like a drip. You can do all kinds of things with it.
After creating a simple gunshot wound, the officers make it look like our victim has been roughed up a bit. After about 30 minutes, our victim is ready for his close-up. A similar fake death photograph was created for California Dr. Gary Parkinson, who asked for proof of his target's demise. One day after hiring undercover detective Scott Harn, Parkinson and his boyfriend meet with their hitman to exchange the final snapshot for a final payment.
I handed him a plastic or a paper bag with the photo inside, and the gentleman opened the bag, took a glance at the photo, didn't really make any comment, and closed up the bag.
Parkinson is arrested on the spot and is eventually convicted and sentenced to 25 years to life. But you might be surprised to know that in some murder-for-hire cases, prison sentences can be a lot more lenient. Case in point, Utah pharmacist J. Allen Roach. In 1999, embroiled in a bitter divorce and custody battle, Roach came to this motel to try to hire a hitman to kill his wife of 17 years, Lorraine. But the hitman he tried to hire was really Detective Skip Curtis of the Utah County Sheriff's Department.
Well, right now I'm to the point that I think the only way to solve it is an accident.
Okay, do you want her just hurt in the accident?
Dead.
Okay. You want it to look like an accident then?
It's got to look like an accident. If I have the cops or anybody coming at me, I'm sunk.
He was adamant about that. It has to look like an accident so no one will accuse him. And he didn't care what happened to me. He didn't care if I suffered. He didn't care what happened. Just so I was dead. The outcome of the accident was that I was dead.
Roach pays Curtis with prescription drugs he steals from his job.
It's 100.
It's 100?
Full bottle. Got the seal on the top.
The ironic thing is he hands me the drugs and he says, you know, I could lose my job for this. I kept thinking, yeah, that and a lot more.
Once Detective Curtis has a down payment, his team moves in for the arrest. Roach pleads with the officers to kill him.
Please kill me. Just kill me. We're not going to kill you. Just kill me. Quit. You gotta kill me. I can't go on. I can't. I can't go on. Just kill me. It's the end. It's the end. It's the end. Kill me.
Ironically, it isn't even close to the end for Roach. 7 months later, he is sentenced to only 1 year in the county jail. The judge cited Roach's exemplary record in the past and said credit is due for that.
What part of that year is for the drug charge and what part of that year is for the conspiracy to commit aggravated murder? I mean, is it 6 months for one and 6 months for the other? That's what really upsets me, is that there were 2 major charges there and it was almost like nothing happened to him.
J. Allen Roach has since served his time and is now a free man, a fact that infuriates the man who handled the case, Utah County Prosecutor John Allen.
I think in sentencing, there was failure in that sentencing. The message that is sent to other people that you can hire someone to kill your wife or your husband or your spouse, whoever that may be, and only get a year in the county jail, in my opinion, is an inappropriate message.
Although sentences can vary drastically, most experts would agree that intervention, putting a stop to the hit before someone gets injured or killed, is the most crucial and most rewarding part of this process. It makes it easier to look back and smile at some of the absurd things you see in this line of work.
There's humor in all these, and it doesn't take away from the seriousness of the case. But this is a business just like yours or anyone else's. And there are funny things that happen in every one of them. But you have to just wait till later to laugh.
I think it's very rewarding. I think everybody has a little part of them that they want to be an actor or an actress, and they want to see how they do playing a particular role. When you're working undercover, you get that opportunity, but at the same time, you get to make a difference in somebody else's life. And if you're lucky, save a life at the same time.
While J. Allen Roach's former wife is grateful her life was saved because of smart work on the part of investigators, she now must deal with the fact that the man who tried to hire someone to kill her is again a free man. Lorraine Roach says she does not feel safe knowing her former husband lives nearby, but she says she is determined to move on with her life and do everything she can to protect her children. That's our report. Thanks for watching. I'm John Siegenthaler.
For information on upcoming programs, go to prime.msnbc.com.